Thank you for watching the EV Universe video on the Volvo C40 Recharge by Tom Voelk. If you are looking for your own Volvo C40 Recharge to buy, or maybe parts and accessories for one you already own, check out evuniverse.com. EV Universe is your one-stop shop for all things related to the electric vehicle. Thank you. Enjoy.
There are reports that electric vehicle sales are down. Hard figures prove EV sales in the U.S. rose in 2023, topping over 1 million for the first time. Prices have dropped. There are more choices. I'm Tom Voelk for EV Universe. Volvo will have 4 different models in its showroom soon, all with Swedish personality. For now, choose between the traditional SUV roof-lined XC40 Recharge that will soon be renamed EX40, or this more passionate fastback C40 Recharge that gets rebranded EC40. The 2024 refresh may not look different, but the motors are more powerful and efficient. Plus, charging can be quicker.
Let's do the numbers. A base core model starts at $55,000. That's single motor rear drive. All-wheel drive at $1,750. This is a fully loaded top-of-the-line C40. It retails for just under $62,000. C40 does not qualify for the federal tax credit because it's assembled in Belgium. As far as the range goes, the EPA rates single-motor C40s at 297 miles. This all-wheel drive, 257.
Rear-drive models now have a max charge rate of 200 kilowatts. All-wheel drive versions remain at 150, but I'll get into charging later because numbers are not always as important as one might think. On the more emotional side, the top trim Ultimate C40 that I'm driving has an Orifice crystal shift controller and optional wool blend upholstery. Carpets and mats are made from recycled materials like used fishing nets and that Diet Coke bottle you tossed a few months back. Volvo might be best known for safety, but it's long been a champion of responsible consumption. This accent is a topographical abstract of Sweden's Abisko National Park. A big glass roof is standard on all models. The new motors were designed in-house. The rear unit makes 255 horsepower. In front, it's 147 horses. Its asynchronous design conserves energy by engaging only when needed. Total power is 402 horsepower and 494 pound-feet of torque.
C40 Recharge does not have push-button start or a key that you turn to fire it up. It's one of those cars that when you sit in it, it's on.
There's a single-speed transmission. One-pedal driving is a single level in the menu. It works well to a full stop. Volvo believes it's tuned the C40 perfectly. Off-road is the only way to really change up the driving modes. The 78 kilowatt-hour battery in Volvo's CMA architecture isn't the usual flat skateboard configuration. Packaging of the cells and the drivetrain mean there's little front storage, and components fill a spine down the middle of the cabin, including the back seat area. FYI, temperatures are unusually chilly in the Pacific Northwest. This would be heavy frost with ice lurking in shaded places.
The single-motor rear-drive C40 Recharge will dash to 60 miles an hour in about 7 seconds. If you want extra oomph and traction handy on a day like today, you're going to want to go with this dual-motor setup. That lowers it to 4.5. And it feels quicker than it is. Instant torque from electric motors, it'll spoil you every time.
Best not to test out Volvo's legendary safety reputation, which goes far beyond crumple zones. There's standard automatic emergency braking with pedestrian and large animal detection, plus blind spot warning. That's stuff that Volvo actually pioneered. Tech on the Ultimate that I'm driving includes adaptive cruise and traffic jam assist, which is helpful during slow highway slogging. I wish that was standard. The chairs provide advanced whiplash protection. The seat bottom frames absorb spinal impact if the vehicle drives off the road into a ravine. It handles well, which should keep C40s out of the ditch in the first place. The low center of gravity, common to all electric vehicles, helps.
Driving dynamics? Well, the steering effort is on the lighter side, not gobs and gobs of road feel. It does corner really well. The suspension is firmer than you might imagine, especially if you drove an old Volvo. Body movements are very nicely controlled. One thing, when you hit broken pavement, it does skitter about a bit.
Steering weight can be notched up one level in the menu. This isn't a large vehicle, a couple inches longer than a Mazda CX-30, and it doesn't ride overly high for those wanting to look over Escalades and Sequoias. However, the Volvo's height makes getting in and out effortless.
It's easy to see out of the C40. When you're looking forward, good thing there's blind spot warning because the coupe-like back end does cut into visibility a bit, especially compared to the XC40.
I'd like to see a rear wiper because aerodynamics don't keep the rain off the backlight, even at highway speeds.
There are no synthetic performance tones happening here. It's just a quiet EV, very quiet. In fact, if you're on a bumpy road, you might hear the suspension components a bit, if you're listening.
C40 has an intangible quality about it that draws people in. More folks than usual quizzed me on it during the week that I had it. Most knew that it was an EV right off the bat. Few seemed to be bothered by the price, which is on the high side. However, everyone wanted to know how far it goes on a charge.
The EPA-rated range of the dual-motor C40 Recharge is 257 miles. It's been cold in Seattle, the mid-30s, and you know what that does to range. I'm seeing closer to 200. If you charge at home, that's very doable, and it'll get me to Portland, Oregon.
Know your needs. I'm a fan of EVs. They aren't for everyone. Between crowded stations and malfunctioning terminals, I had a hard time finding DC fast chargers to test the charge curve this week. Ultimately, I settled for this one that maxed out at 50 kilowatts. Numbers can matter in this case, since a vehicle might be able to charge quicker, but only if the terminal can deliver the juice. At least this one's free. The lesson here? Make sure the infrastructure works for your needs. Before buying, check out the areas that you travel to, if you even travel long distances at all. At a 150 kilowatt terminal, this C40 would juice from 10 to 80% in 34 minutes, 28 for the single motor version. Here, it's an hour and 15 minutes, enough time for the sun to go down.
For the best electric vehicle experience, yeah, you really need to be able to charge at home. For starters, it's usually a lot less expensive and more convenient because you plug in before bedtime and you wake up to a full pack. Now, even if you're at a charging station, there are things that you can do to kill time. Maybe get some groceries, return some emails. I'm working on an edit for my next video.
A couple things while I'm here. The three-dimensional trim is backlit. It draws a lot of eyeballs. Door pockets are so large, my 16-inch MacBook Pro fits without issue. The felted material keeps it from scratching. Now, once this hit an 80% state of charge, it took another 35 minutes to get to 90% because that's how EV charge curves work. At that point, another car showed up, so it was time for me to give up the cable. Charging etiquette 101. Once you've hit 80% and there's somebody waiting for the spot that you're at, it's time for you to leave. Volvo cabins can be calming spaces. C40 leans into a casual appearance, no cut and sewn material on the dash or bark when it comes to trim, and a reminder that this is the fancy pants trim level. The materials that make up the interior are high quality and seem durable, though I am curious how the shiny black stuff will wear. C40's compact cockpit is made more airy by the glass roof. These feel like hardware, some of the best in the biz. The surround view camera offers a bunch of different views to make sure your shiny new car doesn't get dented. C40's heated orthopedic seats don't quite match Volvo's usual legendary comfort level. They're still better than most and will fit nearly anyone. And no, the breathable wool upholstery does not itch. Volvo's interface screen is about the perfect size, not too big or small, and the response is good. The display is set lower, which takes eyes off the road, and there are very few hard buttons on the dash. Audio volume and defrosters are pretty much it. At least it has turn signals.
This does have Google Assistant, which means you don't have to look down and search for buttons. You just use voice commands. That's actually safer. For example, hey Google, turn on the heated steering wheel.
Got it. Turning on the steering wheel heater.
Full functionality does require a data plan. Wireless phone charging is a thing. And once the generous 4-year complimentary digital service expires, I can see many people just switching to Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. That, at the very least, offers up maps and music. In addition to the huge door pockets, there are some small cubbies to complement the usual larger ones that you'd expect in a vehicle. And for smaller purses and backpacks, this is unique to Volvo. If music is your thing, the 600-watt, 13-speaker Harman Kardon system delivers natural sound with tight bass, nothing sloppy or boomy.
As far as the back seat goes, the sloping roofline does cut into headroom a little bit. I'm 5'9", but I have enough knee and leg room, very generous, and my feet go way underneath the seats. That's great. Now, the door opening's a little bit on the small side, as you can see, while I get my size 11s out. Could be a little bit of trouble getting big car seats in and out. Door pockets are a little small, but get the same felt lining that the fronts do. Also, down by the seat cushions, more storage. Both seat backs get pockets, yay. There is no separate climate zone back here, at least there are adjustable vents. Power for phones, check. And this being the top of the line model, heated seats. Even though this is an EV, it doesn't have a completely flat floor. The spine is a bit intrusive. Because of that, I would say keep it to 2 adults back here. They'll be very comfortable. 3 in a pinch.
At 15 cubic feet, the C40 loses a cube to the XC40 Recharge. I like how the security cover stows away. This is more than a floor. I use the dividing function to keep food from sliding around while driving to Thanksgiving dinner. Pop-up bag hooks too, but no spare tire. The ski pass-through is good. With all-wheel drive, I'd take this to the slopes. It's easy enough to reach in to drop the backs, which results in a completely flat load area. This is 49 cubic feet, around 7 less than the XC40. If just looking at hard numbers, a Model Y is some $9,000 less, though Tesla pricing has been awfully volatile lately. Loaded Hyundai Ioniq 5s or Kia EV6s undercut the Volvo by some $5,000. Polestar 2, Nissan Ariya Platinum, Genesis GV60, or a base all-wheel drive Cadillac Lyriq go for about the same as the car that I'm driving. That's all before the maze of federal and state tax credits.
C40 Recharge has a lot going for it. Style, performance, handling. It is a bit spendy though, but it also has Volvo safety and personality. Hard to put a price on those.
Stats and figures can be helpful, but at the end of the day, the best vehicle is the one that connects with the owner. That's a deeply personal thing. And check with your local Volvo dealer about pricing because incentives are always changing. Whether you buy this as the C40 Recharge or its new name, EC40, there's a lot of personality happening here. For EV Universe, I'm Tom Voelk.